Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on 93.3 on FM, I should say, on 93.3 FM. So here we are, and I had a few more questions for my friend Jim Dutton from Texas Home Improvement from noon to 2 here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Jim, thanks for holding for a little bit more. I had a few more questions, my man.
Okay.
One thing, you mentioned hose bibs, and you're saying people are perhaps discovering that the hose bib outside had a problem, it froze up, and now it could be showing up in the house. Is that the same thing where you would see streams of water somewhere by now?
Well, yes. I mean, the hose bibs and everything have thawed out already.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a problem with it,
you would know.
You would already know.
It would be gushing outside. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be extra rainy.
Or inside.
What's that? Or inside, yeah.
Or inside. Because if the pipes, it comes up in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So if it breaks, it can come inside just as easy as out.
Okay, so you'll have extremely rainy with the chance of flood if it's happening at your house for the forecast. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, one more thing that I saw on this, which is ridiculous to me. Pier and beam foundation, as they say in this Dallas News article today, cover your vents around the foundation. That stops the cold from blowing under your house. How many times do you see people with the stupid covers for the vents under their pier and beams when it's summertime? Shouldn't you remove that in the warm months and put that up in the cold months?
You should only cover the vents for a day or two when you have the freezing weather.
Oh, wow.
If you want to cover them at all. I don't even recommend doing it then, because the air underneath the house normally is being warmed from the ground itself.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so now this event was a little bit different because we had a lot of high wind, and that will blow air underneath there that could have affected people. So, but if you're going to cover the vents, no more than a day or two, because that humidity level builds up underneath there.
Oh, wow.
And starts wood decay.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that. Dang. Interesting. Okay, that's a nice tip I got from you there. Okay, now, as far as contractor repair scams, busted pipes, fallen limbs, below freezing temperatures. This was from NBC5 today. They talk about storm chasers and coming over. Here's a few things they say. If somebody says, "Hey, we have leftover materials and we can give you a deal on that," you would say what?
Nobody's got leftover materials right now.
So what does that tell you then?
They're scamming you. They're going to take your money and probably not put half of what they said in.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then how do you know about who's who when it comes to a legitimate and well-respected, because they talk about that. Some are respected and legitimate, many others are not. How do you know the difference?
Well, the first thing is if they're knocking on your door, they're not legit.
Amen.
Everybody's gotten so many calls right now, they're swamped. Second thing is if they can't produce for plumbers, a license or something, no, they're not legit. You got to do a little bit of background check on somebody, and I don't mean you got to call the state and all this kind of stuff, but I mean, if they pull up in a truck that has no decals and no plumber's license number on it, they are not legit. That's required by Texas law.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a good one to know. You see the numbers, but you don't know exactly, this or that.
Right.
Okay. Also, I kind of learned the hard way, as you know, from a previous kitchen remodel thing years ago that you helped me with. And basically, if they're not willing to pull permits, if you don't see permits, then that's a big red flag, right? You don't want anybody that's not going to pull permits and show them to you before they begin the work. Is that fair?
Huge red flag. Now, that's if you're doing a major project, though. These busted pipes and stuff,
no.
Most of those aren't to require permits.
Right.
And the permitting departments were closed during this.
Yeah. So basically, you just if you got the official license number on the side, and that's how you know it's official. One of the ways. Okay. Contractors needing money up front, significant deposit, or more than 50%. I would never give anything near that. Talk to me about what is normal, what is not normal for upfront costs.
Well, if something's got to be custom ordered, you normally have to pay for that up front because it can't be used on anything else. Beyond that, you shouldn't have to be paying large sums of money until people show up on site ready to start working. Now, if you're doing a major remodeling on a house, for instance, it's customary you're going to put 10 or 20% down.
I think
pulling permits and things like that, but nothing beyond that.
Yeah, I think the huge one that you were helping me with kind of at the beginning and now at the end, that one, for example, we had to put like I think 10% down or something, and then at each stage you put stuff down, but the work's happening, it looks good, etc.
Right.
Yeah, like go ahead.
You've really got to check those contracts though, because my son called me. His father-in-law is getting ready to build a house. He's going to build a custom house.
Mm-hmm.
The contract wanted 20% down, 40% when it was the slab poured, another 40% when the framing was up. Hey, they didn't have anything left to build the house.
Right. In other words, it should have been a lot less at each stage.
Yeah. If you're building, for instance, the framing, even once you got the sheetrock up, you are about halfway done is all.
That's all it should be, right?
Yep.
Interesting, man. Very interesting. Also, they talk about they might know the names of your neighbors, casing your neighborhood, going door to door. They might know a lot more about your home than you, and they know the damage, so they've done their homework. So basically, that's, again, if they're going door to door, do not use them as your advice, right?
Do not, because after an incident like this, everybody is so busy. If they don't have enough work to keep them going,
you don't want them.
You don't want them.
Okay, so people like, if it happened to me or somebody today where they're like, oh crap, my pipes are burst, after all, you might have to wait a day or two, so you just shut your water off and go to a hotel probably for the night or something, right?
Exactly. I mean, shut it off and, hey, pretend you're camping. You can stay at your own house for a day or two.
There you go.
You use bottled water to drink and stuff.
There you go.
And if you can see where the pipe is, get a shark bite. You can cut that pipe, put a shark bite cap on it, and then turn the water back on.
There you go.
The rest of the house will still have water.
You just have to bust a hole in where the leak was, obviously, right? In the wall.
You're going to know where it's at when the water starts spewing.
Fun. Okay, and then if you're desperate for a quick fix, do your research. Don't make a purchasing decision while someone's standing on your doorstep. Again, that takes the door-to-door thing and says you're not coming into my house, you ain't working on my house. License, especially for more sensitive, expensive repairs, legitimate electricians and plumbers. Same thing with electricians and HVAC. They all have to have license, right?
Yep, and all of them have to be labeled on the truck with that license number.
Excellent. Jim Dutton, Texas Home Improvement, every Saturday from noon to 2, best home improvement show in America and in Texas, right here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you very much.
Hey, appreciate it. You guys take care and stay warm. At least it's warming up some now.
What's that?
I said, at least we're warming up some now.
I know.
Stay warm, but be ready. We got another one coming this weekend.
I know. I saw that. How long is it supposed to be? I'm going to make you the weatherman now.
This is a very short one, and if you didn't have problems with this past one, you won't have problems this weekend.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate you.
Take care.
Take care. There he goes. Jim's a friend and has a great show. Okay, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, we're going to get into a couple of things. We supposedly have a deal with the Senate and the Democrats on immigration. And when John Cornyn praises it, you know it's bad. And it is really bad. It is insane. It is embarrassing. John Cornyn should be thrown out of the office of senator for the state of Texas. He's bad. He is not good for us. I guarantee you Cruz won't support this. I'll share with you what that proposal is that Cornyn says, well, we have to do this deal. We have leverage. We're never going to have this leverage before again. Yeah. Are you kidding me? We don't have the Senate. We don't have the presidency. And this clown's telling us we have leverage. Holy bleep. I'll get into that. Plus, we have a resolution in the House passed today condemning the Biden border crisis. So why not have... Now comes John Cornyn to bail him out, right? Oh, you can tell I'm already ready to get into this. And also, court ruled in our favor for now. The border barriers, the floating barriers, don't have to come down. All that coming up next, plus your call on that at 800-288-WBAP. On News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Well, this is it. John Cornyn has a deal we cannot refuse, which means run like hell from it. Here's what it is. Gosh, we had a lot of movement today on the illegal front. The brand new deal, I'll tell you about in a sec, and then we also have the House passing a resolution condemning the Biden border crisis. And then on the same day, we have a trifecta. A court rules in our favor for now, saying this is the en banc hearing that Governor Abbott talked about. En banc means the entire Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, not just a 3-judge panel. All 17 active judges voted, which is an en banc case in this position here in this case, and they voted to rehear the case. And in fact, they said we are going to issue a stay. The border buoys that are floating in the Rio Grande that are about 3 soccer fields long, stay. Isn't that great? Anything and everything can stay. We literally have one governor battling this administration on the border, don't we? Do you hear anything come out of Arizona? No, they got a Democrat governor. Do you hear anything coming out of New Mexico? No, they got a Democrat governor. Do you hear anything coming out of California? No, they got a Democrat governor. We are it. Do you understand that? The entire flipping border, unless I'm missing a state, the entire border is Democrat hands except for us. Am I missing one? No, because Nevada's is wedged in there. It's not in the border. I mean, dude, unless I'm missing one, that's it. California, Arizona, New Mexico, and us. That's it. See how this works? We're not playing along with Joe Biden's game of the invasion. But you know who is? John Cornyn. This guy is a real embarrassment. First, the House resolution. They passed a resolution this afternoon denouncing the Biden administration's open border policies, condemning the national security and public safety crisis along the southwest border, urging Biden to end his administration's open border policies. Amen. Talks are underway between the Senate and the White House on a border security compromise in exchange for Republican support for sending more aid to Ukraine. So this is it. Oh, we got to get Ukraine $110 billion. Ukraine, Israel, and other humanitarian causes like Gaza. Meantime, in December, we had 300,000. We had more than 300,000 illegals in 1 month. It was the highest record of all time. Our country is being destroyed. It has been. Our country is being destroyed for 3 years straight now. 3 years in a row, our country is being destroyed, pummeled, torn asunder, violated. Every term you could possibly think of. And now this was shocking. I didn't see this anywhere except for Breitbart today. Wasn't on the Daily Mail, wasn't on Fox, wasn't on any of the others. Texas Senator John Cornyn caves to Langford. Senator James Langford is a Republican as well in Oklahoma. Texas Senator John Cornyn caves to Langford immigration plot. Quote, unique leverage. Hey guys, I see an opportunity here. We have unique leverage. Like, whoa, we got a picture of Joe with a goat or something like that. No, we don't. Speaker Mike Johnson, and here's what happened today. The Speaker, Mike Johnson, House Democrat Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Turtle, traveled to the White House today to discuss Ukraine aid and a potential border deal. Well, Cocaine Mitch has never met a deal he didn't like with Democrats, right? Same thing with Chuck Schumer, same thing with Hakeem Jeffries, and I think Mike Johnson's the only one that's not going to play. If he wants his job, he better not play, right? He'll be thrown out of their stat if he doesn't play on this with us. It's this deal that I'm about to share with you is functionally dead in the House, Breitbart said, which is accurate. I mean, today they condemned this crap, but meanwhile, now comes John Cornyn, who said that Republicans have to exploit the unique leverage that is the Democrat desire for more Ukraine aid. We have unique leverage, he said, Cornyn said today, because of the Ukraine funding. Even when we had the majority in the House, the Senate, and the White House, we still couldn't get 60 votes for some of the things Senator Langford is negotiating now. Woo! I've got the list of what he's negotiated, and you can tell me if you want to open this bag of dog crap, or if you'd like to keep it shut, light it on fire, and throw it on your neighbor's lawn, throw it on Mexico's lawn or something, right? Let's see here. Senate Majority Whip John Thune from Republican from South Dakota says there's absolutely no way we could get the kind of border policy that's being talked about right now with the Republican majority in the Senate. This is a unique moment in time. It's an opportunity to get some really conservative border policies we haven't been able to get for 40 years. Wow, guys, they did it. It's a real breakthrough. Wow. Are you excited? Hold on. There's nothing in there that restricts immigration. In fact, it's just going to encourage more people to come, says the president of Immigration Accountability Project. And here's the framework, and here's why he's right. All this is a green light for the illegals to come more and more and more and more. And you got John Cornyn saying this is a deal and we have leverage. Holy crap, it's unbelievable. This guy's not a Texas Republican. He's like a California Republican or a New Mexico Republican or something. I don't know what this guy is. The border deal will increase green cards by 50,000 a year, work permits for adult children of H-1B holders, and here's where it gets really, really, really nasty. Here we go. Immediate work permits to every illegal alien released from custody. They're going to let every illegal that Joe's let in this country, all the 8 million, work. That's a deal? 8 million illegals working all of a sudden? Holy crap. Who in God's name would want this other than people that want illegal immigration? Another one, the next one, this so-called deal. Taxpayer-funded lawyers to certain UACs and mentally incompetent aliens. Unaccompanied, I think, child or something like that, and mentally incompetent aliens. So we're going to pay for their lawyers. No. Numbers of the next one. Expulsion authority. I'll pause it right here. We got two more. This is horrible. This is horrible. And John Cornyn and other Republicans are saying this is great. Well, I'll tell you what Rand Paul says, and he's exactly right. All that's coming up next to the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Our number is 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Do you want to take an immigration deal, quote-unquote, that allows 5,000 illegals, that's part of this deal I haven't shared with you yet, allows 5,000 illegals to enter a day and would give other generous benefits to them, like letting them work here while they're here? Now? And should we take this deal while we have historic leverage, as John Cornyn says, or flush it down the toilet, as I say? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Okay, so House passes resolution condemning the Biden border crisis. That's great, although I'm going to tell you, one of our regular guests on the show is a retired Texas captain with DPS and head of the border operations, counterterrorism, counterintelligence, Jason Jones. He's a Newsmax border correspondent. And, when he told me that impeaching Mayorkas now is ridiculous because if they cared about it, they would have done it a year or two ago, it's useless now. Under that same thought process, I think that this House resolution condemning the Biden border crisis is also useless. I think it's useless. I think it's useless because I think it's a show to appease you and me when the Republican Party has sat by and watched 3 years of wholesale invasion and not lit its hair on fire. And they did that stupid show where they went to the border. Did they do anything out of that? No. That was a show. It was announced ahead of time. It was a production, and it did nothing. Nothing. So now they have a border resolution, resolution condemning the Biden border crisis. Where was this 2 years ago? Where was street fighting tactics 2 years ago? Where was it? Nothing. This is a show to appease you. I'm going to tell you something. I caught an episode of Tucker Carlson last night and about Nikki Haley and how much of a sellout she is. She is radically pro-illegal immigration. You name it. The pro-trans LGBT garbage, LGBTQ garbage, war, everything. She is a Democrat. She really is. Trump's right, and Tucker was right when he said it, and I watched it late last night when I got home. And these Republicans, most of them are sellouts, and they're trying to pretend that they've got your back and they're with you. Most of them are not. They're a joke. This is a joke. These people are a joke. That's why, honestly, there's, of course, a reasonable amount of people in the House and Senate that are not a joke, but there's not enough of them, right? That's why we need a strongman to come in. That's why we do need Trump for 4 years, because this is BS. Haley would be 8 years of Biden. She'd be like somebody like John Cornyn saying this, okay? Saying, oh, this is a great deal. So we had that earlier, the fake resolution condemning the Biden border crisis as if they're doing something. Second of all, we had a court ruling on the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, the full Circuit Court of Appeals en banc hearing, said we're going to allow for now, the floating barrier between Texas and Mexico to stay up. It's 3 soccer fields long. That's wonderful. Okay, now, today, Cornyn says, I got a great deal. They're at the White House. You got Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Democrat leader. You got Senate Majority Leader. I'm sorry, House Democrat leader, Senate Majority Leader from the Democrats, Senate Minority Leader McConnell, all went to the White House today. It's all about Ukraine aid. I want Ukraine aid. I want to give a corrupt dictator more money to whiz away and prop up a third world country that is corrupt for a war they cannot win and will not win and never will win. And so Cornyn comes out and says, we got a unique leverage here because of Ukraine funding. This new illegal bill that we've worked out, this is going to be great. Here's what it is, and then I'll ask you what you think about this. It would increase green cards by 50,000 a year. It would give work permits for adult children of H-1B visa holders. Honestly, those two don't strike me as anything big to worry about. What is insane is 3, 4, 5, and 6. You ready? Immediate work permits to every illegal released from custody. That's about 8 million. They're all going to be able to work now. Guess what? The crisis, the real leverage we have, gone. Because they can't work. And they can't work, that means Chicago and New York, L.A., D.C., Denver go broke, keeping them in homeless shelters and hotels. That's the only leverage we have. This would end the leverage. This would give the Democrats a victory by them being able to work immediately. No! That makes them even more legitimate. All these illegals chose part in. These SOBs want to let this happen. It would also allow taxpayer-funded lawyers for certain, I think it's unaccompanied children. That's what it is, UACs. Taxpayer-funded lawyers for certain unaccompanied children and mentally incompetent aliens. Hell no. Do you want to pay for the lawyers? Get the heck out of here. Leave. I'd pay for a bus ticket or a plane ticket to leave. That's it. After that, another thing. Expulsion authority for a limited number of days only if encounters exceed 5,000 illegals a day over a 7-day period. We can't even expel them if they come in at 5,000 a day or under. That keeps coming. That's fine. What that means, you could have 150,000 illegals in a month, and that's okay. That's a deal? Are you comfortable with letting 150,000 illegals come in per month? You know, and if it goes over 5,000 for 7 days straight, then you could start kicking them out? This is an invasion still. And this disgusting sellout, this makes me so livid. John Cornyn, oh, there's a leverage. We got a deal. Hold on, there's more. It restricts parole for those who enter without authorization between ports of entry. Whatever. Oh, if you come between ports of entry, you don't get parole. That doesn't mean anything to me. This is unbelievable. It would allow 5,000 illegals a day, and if you have more than 5,000 for 7 days, then it can start expelling some. What a joke. And immediate work permits for all the illegals that have come here, that have been released, the 8 million of them, and then taxpayer-funded lawyers for unaccompanied children and mentally incompetent aliens. Hell no. What do you say to this so-called deal that John Cornyn said? It was a great deal. We have leverage. Do you want to take an immigration deal, quote-unquote, that allows 5,000 plus illegals to enter a day and given other generous benefits to them like lawyers and being able to work immediately? Should we take the deal when we have quote, historic leverage, as John Cornyn says, or flush this deal down the toilet? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. No way. This is just disgusting. It's breathtaking that they would even say this is good. These guys are trying to sell us a lump of crap with a smiley face on it. Here, Senator Rand Paul says it best. The deal is a sellout. He argued it would continue to allow illegal immigration. It's saying, oh, well, we'll let 5,000 people come illegally every day, and then after that we might try to stop the next 5,000 that day. So we just tell them, oh, stay here. Tomorrow morning we'll take you in. The next 5,000. Stay here. We'll take you in tomorrow morning. The next 5,000. Stay here. We'll take you in tomorrow morning. Can you believe any one of our people that on our side of this, our party, would ever sign this and say this is good? Rand Paul says it's completely a sellout. He says it's because people like Mitch McConnell care more about, he's another Kentucky senator, obviously. He says it's because Senator Mitch McConnell cares more about Ukraine than anything else. On this issue, he's more aligned with Biden. Amen. All right, so do you support a deal that gives the ability for illegals to start working immediately, get all their permits today, all 8 million of them can just start working today, and that allows 5,000 illegals a day? No problem. Does that sound like a deal to you? This is pathetic. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Governor Greg Abbott tweeted tonight, because, and I've got audio of Corinne Jean-Pierre. She still says that we killed those illegals that drowned, that woman and the two children illegals, even though DHS acknowledged last night they were dead for an hour before they even knew about it and alerted us. They still say it's us today. They're still lying today. And Governor Abbott struck back tonight in a tweet. I'll share with you what he said, and I'll play what KJP said today, furthering the lie even more that somehow those illegals are dead because we wouldn't let the Border Patrol in when that's a total lie. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP. All right, so this is unbelievable. We talked about this last night, and DHS, in its own documents and press release, admitted that there was an illegal woman and two children drowned in the Rio Grande on Friday night at around 9 o'clock. And the government of Mexico informed Border Patrol. They did not inform Border Patrol that a woman and two children are drowning. Come help them. No. When they reported to them at 9 o'clock Friday night, they said a woman and two children died. It's over. They died already. We're letting you know. And we're letting you know that there's an illegal who is in need of rescue out there, and we rescued him. They did not say, help, there's somebody on your side drowning, and if you don't save them right now, they're going to die. Send them over to Eagle Pass, where the park where Texas is, and get in there so you can rescue them. No, they were already dead. And yet it was reported falsely by Biden and by the media yesterday, and then it was debunked by the evening. We talked about this last night. And yet today, when it's totally been acknowledged by DHS that they were already dead when they got the notification from Mexico Friday night at 9, this stupid fool still pretends that woman and those kids were killed by Governor Abbott and his neglect and refusing to allow Border Patrol in there. Listen to this garbage. Today,
Our statement is consistent with DOJ's filing. As the DOJ filing said, there was an ongoing emergency situation that Border Patrol was blocked from accessing. There are other migrants in the water.
Then why wasn't that included in the statement?
There were other migrants in the water.
That's what you were referring to.
Our statement is very much consistent with DOJ filing. Anything else specific you want to know about that, I would certainly refer you to DOJ.
So I'm sticking by that. If you have any further questions, call DOJ. One of our friends of the show here, one of our listeners, Rick W., sent me a screen grab from the Dallas Morning News, which I saw. We talked about this last night from this story. Illegal migrants drowned before Border Patrol contacted state Justice Department acknowledges. So it was the top of the fold on their website last night. That's why I talked to you about it last night. It was a big story. It broke. And today this woman is lying. She's lying, saying that it's our fault. I mean, and by the way, Fox News was playing earlier in the day. They were playing some of the highlights from all the left people say, "Oh, they drowned. It was they drowned. They wouldn't let them in." How much you want to bet none of them are correcting it? That's okay. You hear the truth and you know the truth. Wow, huh? Craziness. Well, thank you, Rick W. And if you see something or if you want to share something with the show, do it right there on the Chris Crock Show Facebook. Go to Facebook, type in Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrok Show. Click on the public figure, click like, scroll down, and jump in. Governor Abbott also, I retweeted this. It's on my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show as well. Governor Abbott attached Ken Paxton's quote-unquote receipts, as Governor Abbott puts it. He says Biden was clearly wrong to blame Texas for the deaths in the Rio Grande. Ken Paxton has receipts to prove it. As a federal judge already ruled, Biden and DHS, quote, create a perverse incentive for illegal migrants to make it dangerous illegal crossings. Biden is to blame for the drownings, and that's exactly right. We know it, and KJP knows it, but she's a liar because that's her job, to lie for her boss. All right. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And just to remind you, we were talking about this in the last segment, there's a brand new deal that John Cornyn says we must sign that will allow 5,000 illegals to come in a day. If it's more than 5,000 a day for 7 days straight, then they can start not letting people in. Does that sound like a good deal to you? It would also allow all of Joe's illegal immigrants that have come in for 3 years, 8 million of them plus, to get work permits immediately. Does that sound like a deal to you? It also will provide lawyers for the unaccompanied minors and incompetent illegals. Does that sound like a deal to you? You're going to pay for lawyers. You're going to let them work. You're going to, you're going to let 5,000 come in a day at least. Unbelievable. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Okay. Promise to get to this in the last half of this hour. Does Chick-fil-A charge more for drive-through for food? What do you think, Producer Garrett? Do you think Chick-fil-A charges more at the drive-through versus in the store? As this went viral on Twitter or something, it says 9 million times it's been seen, 35,000 likes, 4,400 retweets, over 500 comments, and it says, wait till they find out items cost more when you go through the drive-thru rather than going inside. You think it costs more inside than outside? Or do you think it's the same, both? You're thinking it's more on the inside. Okay. Well, this was a study that Channel 8, WFAA TV Channel 8 carried. Actually, it's from an old station, TV station in Atlanta, but they cover the story too. And it says that it's false. It is the same price inside and outside. They went to one Chick-fil-A. They went inside. They went outside. They compared the prices. They got receipts. They got everything. They bought inside. They bought the same price. So it says, no, the prices don't change whether you're going through the drive-thru or in a restaurant. That would be horrible. Do you know what I think is a real offensive to me? That Raising Cane's charged for the sauce. Did you know that? Why would you never go into there? Ever. It's sick. It's disgusting, says Brewster Garrett. It's something like you would have it when you're in college. Greasy, right? Greasy. Okay, so it does not charge more in the drive-thru or in the inside. So it's the same either or. So there you go. What is inappropriate is charging people to have sauce. That is so dumb. Well, we make it from scratch. Great. You shouldn't charge it. Don't make it from scratch then, right? Chick-fil-A sauce is great. It's not made from scratch. Okay, you're going to hear a woman spitting on a guy's car, screaming at him, hitting him, calling him white trash, and Jewish slurs as well at him, this woman, and she gets cuffed, and it goes downhill from there. We'll talk about what kind of what kind of rage have you seen in parking lots, and how about in the stores? Both of those. I had another thing today from my mechanic. He told me about that happened in the store with him the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh. So your stories about when you've seen people raging at somebody else in a store or even in a parking lot. Next.